Over the last few weeks, I've been hearing a lot about Strava heat maps. And to be honest, I've only a vague idea of what that's all about. So today I've decided to go in and have a good look round. So the first thing that strikes me is how much Strava heat maps looks like a nighttime view of Google Maps. And indeed, they work in very similar ways. You can pick it up and scroll around. You can zoom in, zoom out, and basically navigate exactly as you would with Google Maps. Now the only difference here is that this displays the routes that have been collected by Strava every time somebody rides their bike. They go for a run, they go for a swim, or they go skiing. And every time you do that, you're contributing to these heat maps. So let's zoom in and have a closer look at Europe for a minute here for a second. And while we're here, let's go over to this left-hand panel and go through some of the settings. So you can choose the colour of the heat map, and at the moment it's set to hot. So basically, the brighter the colour, the more frequently that particular route is being cycled on, or ran, or swam, or skied. So you can choose the colours. You can go blue, or you can go grey, or you can go red. I think I personally prefer the hot one. Kind of looks like an aerial view from space. The next thing you can do is come down to this panel here, and you can select your activity. So let's just select all of the cycling routes, and you can also select the opacity of the heat. And this is set to 80%, but you can go 100% or 0%. Well, there's no much point in that. So let's set it to 80%, and you can also select satellite map, or if you have it on map, you can have labels, and that's fairly useful. If you have it on satellite, for some reason it won't show you the labels and you won't really know where you are. So let's have it on map and labels. So let's kind of zoom in to my part of the world here in southern England. And again, it's very reassuring to see that there are very, very many routes here that people are using. And it's very strange to think that every time I've ridden along here, it's contributed to this heat map. So let's zoom in a little more. So let's come up here. Where are we? Alice Holt Forest. That's a bit too far west for us. Here's Portsmouth here, and let's come down to this area here. This is particularly interesting. So this area here, this is the main London to Portsmouth road. This is the very busy trunk road, but interestingly enough, people are cycling on it. But this is very interesting here. This is actually Butser Hill, the Queen Elizabeth Country Park, and again, these are very, very well used routes, and this is all mountain bike trails up in here. It's quite a wooded, chalky, hilly area, not suitable for road bikes at all. So these are all mountain bike tracks. Let's zoom out a little bit, and this is kind of my back garden, really, all in the South Downs here. This is all very interesting, seeing all of these routes and how often they're used. And judging by this, they're being used quite a lot. Now this is one of my frequent routes. I'll cycle from my house down to Hayling Island, so I'll come over the bridge here and then I'll take this road in, and then depending on the wind direction, I'll either go this way and back along here, or I'll reverse it. Now if we come over to here, again, it's very interesting to see that this isn't a mistake. This is actually bikes using this. Now we've got the western tip of Hayling Island here, and the eastern tip of Portsmouth, and there's a little ferry that runs across here. So obviously people are taking their bikes on their ferries, leaving the cycling computers on, and it's tracking them as they take the ferry, and then they're continuing along their journey along Eastney, or they're going the other way. let's come down for a laugh and have a look at Mallorca. Some of the big routes down there. Go down through France, zoom out a little bit in the Mediterranean here, and here's Mallorca. Zoom in a bit more. And these are the mountains. This is the famous Sacalobra here, and as you can see, that is very, very used. And again, I think there's a little ferry that runs from the village of Sacalobra to Soler, and obviously people have left their cycle computers on, but nope, that's the famous Sacalobra. So Strava heat maps are fairly useful if you want to get an idea of where to cycle if you're going somewhere. If you don't know the routes and things, it's very useful to just look them up. It's very, very easy, and you can just find out where everybody locally is cycling, so that's quite useful. So there we go, that's Strava heat maps. I think Strava are actually missing a bit of a trick here, because once you've found a route that you like, you can't download it from heat maps itself. I think you have to go into Strava itself or use a completely separate app such as Garmin Connect. But anyway, I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching.